which is the crack of a single rifle that echoes across the field. Um, there is there's an old superstition that you can't hear the sound of the bullet that comes for you, of the one that takes your life. But on a massive snowy field, surrounded by expanses of snow and soldiers escaping from the castle in all directions, you can hear the echoes of it. And that's what Gerard hears as he's running from a castle alongside the rest of Montague's army. Um, that's the sound that he hears as he looks around kind of by reflex to see who's hurt, and he sees the alarm in the faces of the other soldiers that are near him. And he sees, and like, uh, he's had blood on his hands before, like, especially over the courses of like the last few months of fighting. He's had blood on his hands plenty of times, but it's always been somebody else's. It's always been blood that he's drawn with his blades. There's been, small casual injuries and bullets that were close calls. But when he looks down and he sees the one that is like gone through his chest and you can see the blood that's spilling out over his overcoat, um, it's it's accompanied by the strangeness that it doesn't feel painful at all. It doesn't feel like any of the injuries he's gotten before. Um, and everything kind of goes soundless. He hears the other soldiers around him as if they were at a great distance. He sees Carl, who has been the right hand of General Montague for as long as Gerard has signed up, um, turning from where he's running and kind of dropping into place and leveling his rifle and firing a shot to take out the person who hit Gerard, and then grabbing him with one hand and starting to drag him behind him. And then he sees the world growing darker and darker by inches. Um, and there is a moment where he still feels his body being pulled, and then that sensation stops, and he's looking up and looking around, and he sees where the general's forces are still fleeing from the castle, and he sees Carl dragging his body, but he realizes he's still where he was. Um, and a very, very old woman walks across the snow barefooted with with her feet never breaking the snow that she's walking across. And she walks atop it as if it were as solid as earth. And she stands over him. She looks like a woman carved out of leather. She has long gray hair that seems to cover like all of her modesty, but beneath that is just sort of like a rumpled cloth, um, that fits more like a poncho or a toga than a dress. And he can see the signs of wounds in her sides. It looks like bleeding from her ribs. Um, and in a moment, he's suddenly back in a tent, and he's just handed over a scroll that has taken him weeks of trudging to like the worst weather Usura has to offer to General Montague. And Montague is kind of reading the last few lines of it aloud. So, return to me, my dear husband, defy my father, and return to me, your sugar plum. And he kind of, Montague, he just holds the letter, but he's no longer reading it. He's just staring at it. He says, "You have taken a great deal of risk to deliver this to me."
We did needed to be done. My loyalties, my lord, are to our beloved nation, not to the emperor. And the man died trying to get this to you. Honor, loyalty, and patriotism. or why I am here before you with this letter.
Um, and Montague, he nods and he says, "I fear the return will be just as dangerous." Says, "And I can use patriots with determination to see my men to safety."
Of course, I would be my honor and my privilege.
Says, "We are closer to Pavlov than we are from it." Says, "Much closer." Says, "My hope is that we can meet the Gaius," he says, "and negotiate a ceasefire, a peace treaty, so my men can leave without conflict."
If you feel that is the best way, then let me know what you need.
He says, "I will send messengers," he says, "but most of my messengers have not survived the trip." And says, "Let me explain how things are working." Um, we kind of like cut forward. There's an overview of which, like, the entire army moved in a way that like had never been done before because officers never trusted soldiers to show up where they were told to report to. The, the armies had always been moved by officers who were of noble class, whipping along all of the enlisted troops who were of the commoner class. And so the idea that like they would just go because that was their orders, they would be there where they need to be because those were their orders, and is almost incomprehensible to normal like officer command structure, right? But instead, he's broken it down so that they have meeting places. Sergeants are charged with getting their platoons to where they're supposed to go, and they they break apart to the countryside. There is no organized army to fight, and that means that there's spots of fighting all over the place because Usurans themselves are fighting with guerrilla tactics, but they're now, instead of an ambush against an entire army marching line, it's small groups of men fighting other small groups of men. um and over the course of the next few months, as Gerard is making his way towards Pavlov with the others, it they continually like cross over, reinforce. Sometimes they combine together when they realize they both suffered losses. um the the degree of professionalism and loyalty from these soldiers is mind-boggling. It's a completely different experience than the armies that he's seen in Charus and in Pay. These are people who have been with him, some of them as old as like Montague's Stand, which is where he first repelled the Castilians from Montaigne itself. Some of them then fought with him in a campaign through Castile that was not won, but ended after a certain point because the emperor recalled Montague and sent him into Usura instead, with one war unfinished. Um, After having retaken a fortress that nobody said could be taken, had never been taken before. Um, it's it becomes easy as time goes on to see why Montague kind of inspires the loyalty that he does. He was recruited as a private as well. He was jumped up the ranks when he saved all of Charus and the Emperor, but he understands intimately what it means to be boots on the ground. And the it's impossible that anybody else in command of this army would have gotten where he's gotten, no less getting to Pavlov with a working army. Um, and the there is no like negotiation before the battle at Pavlov. Montague tries to ask for parley, but is immediately fired on. And so the Montaigne army takes the city, and then Montague surrenders to the Gaius as a way in return for his army being allowed to return. It is an agreement that the Gaius does not honor. He takes Montague and most of the officers and most of the reputed, even like NCOs, puts them into prison, and is preparing to act out executions on the soldiers outside when the Gaius's own wife makes arrangements for their escape. She's from Eisen. She is the younger sister of the uh, the Koenig of Fischler. She's also one of the most beautiful women that Gerard has ever laid eyes on. Um, and he sees through the cell bars like her dealings with Montague, um, and her insistence that he needs to flee, that the Gaius has every intention of executions, um, and uh, in the midst of that attempted jailbreak is when um, everything goes crazy. They can hear explosions rocking through the city. They can, there are guards being assassinated by other guards. They're in the middle of a coup when the opportunity for jailbreak comes. And it's again like the sort of critical moment when everything becomes possible is when one guard strays too close to Carl. the the Eisen who's missing a finger, the Eisen who's the deadliest sniper that Gerard has ever seen. He strays too close with a loaded pistol. And Gerard watches him kill two guards with one bullet. Before reaching and grabbing the keys, unlocking his cell, and immediately tossing the keys through the bars to Gerard. Um, they begin to stream out. Katharina like appears in the midst of all the chaos, absolutely soaked in blood. Her hair has turned like bone white, and she has no explanation for it. But she and her eyes have turned bright green. And Gerard might be amongst those who have been informed that the Usurans who are capable of practicing magic, they have green eyes, but the white hair and its meaning is lost to it. The uh, the exit is frantic at first until Montague's out of his cell and begins giving the kind of cold mechanical orders that Gerard has seen him do before. There's something where if he'd been shouting, it would be less effective. It's because he's emotionless as he's giving them. He's just boiled down to like this strategic mastermind that is anticipating like which doors are going to burst open, which soldiers or where soldiers are going to be coming down steps, where they'll be pursued, what needs to be blocked. What should have been an easy recapture or death in the prisons by an overwhelmingly larger force instead becomes an orderly retreat. The officers returning to the soldiers outside, pursued by the entire Lucerne capital army, and then flight through the snows. And that's when he hears the echo of a rifle shot, and that's when suddenly he's back to himself. Um, and he sees the old woman, um, and he understands that he once again sees like the letter that he carried all the distance to Usura, the letter that was responsible for the Montaigne leaving Usura, and he understands that this woman, whatever she is grateful without her ever saying a word. Um, and she lifts two fingers and she pushes them into the hole in his chest, and it's like ice grips his heart for a moment, and then he feels himself taking a breath, and hears Carl like, "Goddamn, don't die on me yet!" And he looks down. He can see like over where he had seen the bullet exit, where he had seen flesh pouring blood before. He sees red ice.
Do not worry, my friend. I am not gone yet.
Um, and the the world starts to go black again, but he can hear the battles. He can hear the retreat. There are moments where he just seems to like fade in and out of consciousness and realizes like he's in a medical tent, but then he goes back out. Like he's fighting for his life for the next few weeks as his compatriots, despite the effort it is, despite the fact that like any other army than this one would leave their dead or their nearly dead behind, Montague's army doesn't. If there's a chance that you'll live, you're being drawn with them. And if you're a body, you're going to be buried in your homeland. I want you on your character sheet to write down that you're getting a free advantage. That advantage is cold climate conditioning.
As soon as I find it here, there it is. One of these screens has my cut sheet on it.
What that does is provide you a benefit whenever you're dealing with cold weather. It just doesn't bother you. Hot weather, you don't enjoy so much. But Matushka has touched you.
I'm sorry, what you called it, cold climate
Conditioning.
conditioning. Thank you.
It is warmth that wakes him for the first time. He doesn't know how much time has passed, but when he looks down, there's no longer that ice like over the hole in his chest. There's no longer a hole in his chest. There is a mark that looks different, you know, a scar that he's going to bear for the rest of his life from the bullet that took his life. And there's a start from the soldier that's in the medical tent tending when he sees Gerard sit up. And there's enough weakness in his limbs that Gerard has the sense of like what it was like to be sick for like really sick when you were younger and like laid up for weeks. Just like when you would come back, you would have not moved in so long that your limbs were weakened. And he has that sensation as well. Like there's going to be rust to throw off like the fighting form he was at his best in Usura. But that doesn't mean that the skills he acquired there are gone. He says, "You're alive."
So it seems.
And through the medical tent's opening, he can see that a familiar skyline. He has not seen Freiburg in weeks, months, actually.
We are in Freiburg.
He says, "We're sheltering here for the winter."
How long have I been dead?
He says, "You missed at least one battle." He says, "We got out of Usura." He says, "It was risky." He says, "But it was like the opposite of the way we came in." He says, "The weather melted paths for us." He says, "Game was aplenty." He says, when we crossed over into the mountains, though, we found we were coming into Posen lands. We came by boat, and marching through Eisen lands back to Montaigne meant that we were probably going to stir up some Iron Princes, so Montague called for a halt. Says, "It got uglier when we found out that we'd be marching through Posen's territory. Apparently she's the fiercest bitch in Eisen."
There are very few I would prefer to see in front of her.
He says, "When I say it, it's with nothing but respect." He says, "That woman could fight." He says, "She took the best Montague had." He says, and we managed to draw her into pulling back, but she's definitely not defeated yet.
Why do we fight her instead of parlaying?
He says, "Well, Montague attempted to parley again, but she had artillery fixed on our position."
What is it with these lords and their desire to shoot first and talk to the corpses when we're buried?
"I thought they were all supposed to be about the honor of their word," he says, "and meeting under flags of truce."
Well, that is the thing. If you don't give your word, you do not have to honor it.
Um, he says, I know, he says, Montague told me, he says, to come find him. He says, if you roused. He says, since it looks like you're up on your own feet, maybe you should go seek him.
I will be there as soon as I am dressed. Where is my uniform?
Um, he says, washed as best it could be, he says, but in the chest, he says, at the foot of your bed.
I will find somebody to mend that. But
Um,
now, it is a reminder. We are all mortal.
uh, he smiles at that, and there is still the hole in the shirt, um, as he, his jacket and the shirt underneath it. Um, but it's once more a reminder that that actually happened. He took bullet through the chest, and he's walking.
If you could find me a seamstress to get it repaired, but I have a special request. Repair it with red cloth, not blue.
Sorry, can you say that again?
If you can find me a seamstress to get it repaired, I have a special request. Repair it with red cloth, not blue.
This is I think there might be some available inside the city, but most of the soldiers fix their own uniforms.
I would, but I must go see Montague.
Um, yeah, he says, "Oh, I'll leave it here for you to collect when you're ready."
Merci.
Um, the and Montague, there's actually somebody guiding him into the city. Montague would stay with the soldiers, of course, but at least for present, he's been given quarters inside of Steinholt, the center of Freiburg. It's a very strange, familiar trip for Gerard. Although he wasn't here as long as everybody else who's been in the game has been attached to Freiburg for quite some time. For him, it was like a stop through that he ended up on the council for a time, but then found a mission that called him and left for. Um, and the uh, uh, so the trip into City Hall, um, I'm actually going to have this go with, Gerard walks in there, like City Hall has several rooms off of like the main area in which guests of particular import are allowed to stay and offered rooms and stuff like that. But as he crosses into City Hall to look for Montague, I think Rose is in the middle of probably, speaking with some of the people, like doing judgments and stuff like that, and she recognizes Gerard.
Or at least someone who reminds her of Gerard. The man who left does not look so much like the man in the song.
There's a very distinctive arcana, though.
True, I forgot how she sees people.
She'll absolutely be like, okay, 5 minute break to everybody, and walks over to Gerard. It has, and mind you, when she met Gerard, she still had her mask on. She doesn't have her mask on anymore.
But she speaks.
Yeah, and she speaks, and sounds completely different as well, because she's not using the same accent anymore either. It's been a while, Signore. It's glad to see you back in Freiburg.
I know that voice. Rosa?
Si, Signore.
And he just turns and gives her the biggest hug.
She'll hug back. And I guess the major differences is Rosa now has a ring on her finger. And would she be showing?
So I think we're probably like 2 months from that period of time. I'm intending to cover a good portion of winter during this session though.
Yeah.
So
But Signore, come to the Bearhausen whenever your business is done here. I'm very sure that the rest of the council would like to see you again.
The council,
Si, Signore.
all right, as soon as Mon Capitan is finished with me, I will be there as quickly as I may.
Grazie, Signore.
It is good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
He taps the ring. And what was this?
A council member and I developed feelings for each other.
Congratulations to you.
Grazie. I am not the only one going to be married soon either. There is others on the council as life seemed to continue.
So it seems, at least some lives do.
Say that again, so sorry.
So it seems, at least some lives do.
Oz definitely did here.
One of the things that Rosa will notice is Gerard, when he left, was still a young man in his late 20s-ish. Now he looks more like he's in his late 40s. His hair has started to gray where it parts. Even the hair on his head has lightened a lot. And you can see the wear and tear in his face, as well as a scar that wasn't there before that crosses his temple.
Can't look at chat, can't look at chat, can't look at chat, can't look at chat. You're not the only one who has had changes. As for Rosa, you'll notice, because she doesn't hide it, her hands are covered in a web-like pattern all the way from her fingertips, and I'm pretty sure it's gone across her chest. I don't remember how far we had it anymore.
it's up to you. It's
Okay, yeah. We'll have it at least to the chest. Because I don't think she's had any more. I don't remember if she has had any more lashes. I don't think she has. Yeah.
No, I don't think she has. Only on viewing instead of
Yeah.
actually manipulating. She keeps lucking out on that.
But yeah, she has these marks that basically look like spider web across her skin. And she's just, it's unfortunately she knows that there's a worldliness to Rosa now. Can't escape chat. It's on the screen. And she does take Gerard's hand. Just remember, things have changed here. Quite a bit. And it looks like it has been unkind to you as well.
It is relating, senior.
Davio, I'm so sorry, I missed what you said again.
It is what it is, milady. Then he corrects himself, Signora.
It just trust me when I say the council will be very excited to see you again.
Most of them. There's one that I owe an apology to, but I will be there to deliver that in person.
And she, yep, she's gonna slightly smile because she knows that Gerard was here for honoring, right? Yeah. There is
Now,
a
question: did they actually have any crossover? Because I think, I
No.
think Gerard had left before Honorine arrived, so Honorine
Yep.
wasn't yet on the council, just for keeping
Yeah.
time straight purposes. It's been a while, like so.
I think they had perhaps maybe one conversation, if that. But
I
don't.
think they had. I think it
I
was
don't think
done
so.
in flashback, like during your guys' character development, you had connection, but not actually like in
Not
in
connected
game.
in. I mean, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it wasn't in play, it was pre-play.
Yes, hearing there's one I have to apologize to, she kind of smiles. Signore, I don't believe you have anything to apologize to her for.
Signora, you do not know Montagny. The Montagny. I have everything to apologize for.
Nope, she's gonna wait, because she wants to say something, but she's gonna be like, it would be better if I explain more at the bear house than here.
Very well. I will see you and the others there.
And she'll nod and go back to having to do her day job now.
Carl is an interesting person. Gerard has, he's fought alongside him many times. The Gerard is a self-professed coward, which is odd given his acumen in battle. But the thing is until somebody's 10 feet away from him, the cowardice doesn't really kick in. And he's learned how to make sure nobody gets that close. And he's also seen the sort of symbiotic relationship between Montague and Carl, where Montague is capable of tactical genius on his own, but he's capable of miracles when he has a sniper who can bring down enemy officers next to him. No. Carl is a self-professed coward. He calls himself a coward. He's not accusing anybody else of it. It was a conversation in chat. So, yeah, sorry. No, Carl has not accused anybody else of cowardice. He calls himself a coward in battle.
But you said Gerard calls himself a bad coward.
Yeah, sorry. That was my misspeak. Yeah. I'm glad for the correction. I didn't want that misunderstanding. He's an Eisen who is white-haired. He's lost his ring finger on one hand, and he always looks pale. But like when you see Gerard, he has like a jump and gets a little bit paler for a moment. He says, "On your feet." He says, "Alive and on your feet."
We, Manfred, I told you I wasn't done yet.
He says, "Yes." Then you went, he says, and stayed unconscious for weeks.
But I did need a wee bit of a nap.
He raps on the door and he kind of pushes it open. He says, "General, the courier is here." In Montague, it's like it's one of those things that like if they were of equal status, like Montague is technically a noble now, but he still very much treats most people as though he were still a commoner, and he would probably embrace Gerard, except that Gerard is gentry, so his own natural sort of reflexes kick in, and he gives him sort of like the double-handed like handshake of, "I'm really happy to see you." Um,
I'm happy
so,
to be seen.
uh, he says, "You have, I think you've given a life in service to the army at this point." Says, if not, close enough.
I have not given life yet. I still breathe and I still walk.
He nods. Says, regardless, he says, we're here for a time. He says, there will be time for us to catch up, time for you to discuss your future. When we go back to Montague, when we go back to Montaigne, it may be fighting a war against the Emperor.
General, I understood that possibility when I left with that letter in my hands. As I told you then, it is still true now. My loyalty is to Montaigne.
He says, understood. Says, that's not an oath I'll hold you to. He says, but if you wish to enter my service before we go back, says, I'll give you a formal oath, make you an officer. But I don't know if we'll be returning to Freeburg.
That is a very generous offer. But before I give you my answer, there are others here in Freeburg I must speak to.
Says, if you try to give me your answer now, I wouldn't take it. I'm asking you to take the winter. Says, if you have affairs to put in order, make sure you are ready for your decision by the end of that time. Says, I will make sure you are paid through the winter. You've certainly earned that.
It is appreciated, General.
Um, uh, the and he goes over to a chest that's in his room and he opens it up. Says, we weren't able to save the entire hat. Says, but I did keep this in case I needed something to bury. And there's like the feather from the hat that he had when he first arrived. The hat itself took 2 bullets during fighting. It was not surviving. He had other ones since then, but the fact that Montague kept something, you know what I'm saying, that he considered him enough of like one of his men to keep a memento for himself is pretty telling.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that feels like a good place to drop the curtain for now and move us into the rest of the game. So, welcome back, Shadow. It's been a little bit. For those of you who are just tuning in, Shadow was able to play with us for a while, and then he was unable to join because of internet issues in real life and blah blah blah. So it's been a year, and now he's getting to play with us again. We're very excited to have him back. Gerard's been through some experiences, as you can probably tell from what we've been discussing. So, let me say thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Shadow of the Wachtturm. Our producer tonight is one of the moderators of Dirty 20 Gaming, the delightful and compassionate Gloriosa. Our lore master for the series is the beautiful and benevolent Syndra. Before we get started, I wanted to give a content warning. While the spirit of Seven Sea is swashbuckling adventure and shadowy intrigue, the story will deal with mature themes, including death, loss, suicide, and grief. Eisen, our setting, is recovering from a 30-year civil war over religious differences. It may get dark sometimes. There's no shame in bowing out if it's not a place your head can go at the moment. So without further ado, I'm going to have our savvy swashbucklers introduce themselves, starting with Shadow. You're muted.
I was about to say you did that as I'm muted, but that's pretty much how our luck goes around here. Hello, everybody. I am Shadow, also known as the True Shadow Master. I am one of the founders of the Desperate Dice Rollers channel here on Discord. I've been part of Dirty 20 Gaming for longer than I can remember times now. I recently was part of the Cyberpunk Red game as Shane, the Nomad. And I'm glad to be back here in Seventh Seas as Georges Saint-Germain Dupont. I really don't have anything else right now because I'm still working on a few things, but my introduction will probably get better as I get reused to this. So I will pass it on to the next council member.
It's hot potato.
Oh, it's
Swallow.
up. Well, then I'm going to go down as my list sees it. Honorine.
Hello, I am Honorine. I'm Glory, actually, known around here. Blaze of Gloriosa, or sometimes my very angry producer. I produce on this channel 2 nights a week, usually, although our alternate Wednesdays is currently on hiatus. But normally that's our Masks game, Oracle Force. On Thursdays, I produce for our City of Mist campaign, Deviant Paradox, which is GM'd by our very own Sans. You can catch me in front of the camera 1 night a week on my own channel, streaming games, usually also info dumping at the same time, and or screaming at dispatch lately for like, I don't have enough heroes for you, stop calling me. That's been the channel lately. I'm here tonight as Honorine No Taste for Men, which is still better than her sister, Cease to Cease. I wrote that 2 weeks ago, just FYI. So I was reading it like, oh, I wonder what passed me, left me. That's what it was. Other than that, I'm just here. I'm around on the Discord. Let's go to Ruth.
Hi, I'm Ruth. You found me. I am here on Monday in the Pandora's Gift Suncast as Xenon Alcides, Cleric of Nyx. We will not be here this week. Next week, maybe. Depends on if we can put disease back again. Alternate Wednesdays in our Oracle Force game as Trek. Thursdays as Nora Apollon in our Deviant Paradox game, and Sundays, today, as Runa Ingvild's daughter. And that's super fun, super cool. I'm gonna pass it on over to Rosa.
You're muted.
I know. I'm just yelling at myself at like, did you pull everything up? Did you grab everything? And I was like, yes, I did for once. So hello there, my name is Sarah. I go by Sans on the Discord. I am on this channel 3.5 nights a week, starting tonight as Rosa Nyx. I have reputation now? What? I have what now? I am here on our Monday night game, Pandora's Gift Nightcast, as Clarity Palace. I guess I'm the best healer ever for Apollo? Yeah. Whenever we eventually get back to that. On our Mask Oracle first game, I play Nightwish. Somehow I'm still the leader. Probably not for much longer. And our Thursday game, City of Mist campaign, Deviant Paradox, I am the DM of the chaos. No one but me knows what's happening. Let's let's give it over to Len.
Hi, folks. It's me, Bat Kyle. You also found me. Ruth just has more opportunities to use the bit, so I'm just starting to cede it to her, but you can't have it entirely. Shared visitation on the bit.
You have joint custody of the bit.
We do have joint custody of the bit. And I love that for us. I really do. You can find me on the Discord, mostly posting unhinged food memes because everybody's got to have a hobby. You can find me here on Sundays playing Len, Mr. Owl Costin, and he can tell you how many licks it takes. Otherwise, you can find me in the chats of various other games, being an unhinged menace just like this, but usually in text. And I kind of got urged to run a game, so we'll see where that goes. That aside, let's go down to Rory.
Hey everybody, I'm Rory. I am here tonight, this wonderful Sunday evening, accompanied by all these wonderful people playing everyone's favorite wonderful soldier boy,
You!
Hans Reifenstahl. You can also find me as a part of the cast of Oracle Force when we do return as Graviton, physics nonsense, etc., etc. Now is a good time to catch up on the YouTube. Catch up on the Dirty 20 Gaming YouTube channel if you haven't already, since Oracle Force is probably going to be away for a little while. Go catch up. It's worth it. If you like superhero stuff, which you probably do. That aside,
Do it anyway.
honestly, yeah, just do it anyway. You don't have stuff to watch. Watch it.
What are you, a coward?
Yeah, all that aside, personal projects are slow as hell, so don't wait up. You'll hear more when there's stuff to announce. And with that, it is time to hear how Bison's doing.
That's me. Hi. I am Bison _ Stonefist. The underscore is part of the name. Don't ask why. I am here 3 nights a week. Tonight I am playing Gav the Grin, our big lovable back alley Batman and sewer surfing suplex machine. On Mondays I am on the Suncast as Bofedes Caridia, a humble servant of Hephaestus. Supposedly. That's a whole thing. And on Thursdays, I am our resident emo kid, Garrett Sakes, for Deviant Paradox. Other than that, you can catch me on the Discord. I'm there all the time with memes and other stuff. And other than that, you can catch me on Nate Cat Goldchain Lives channel. I'm not going to write it out because I don't remember how to spell it right now. Usually playing Call of Duty, just because it's free. So yeah, that's what I do. And so back to Siosa.
And I am Ziosa. I am the GM of Shadows of the Wachtturm. And you will also be able to see me next Saturday, actually being a player, since I'm a forever GM, in February 14th Valentine's Day themed honey heist that Kevin is going to have more details about, but I at least want to hype a little bit. So, all right, let me get us back into things here. I am, because we are, we run a little bit longer, and because we have a lot we're going over, and we got somebody that we're bringing back in. I'm just going to jump us in. But in general, this
Death,
is
slur, or
gonna
letter,
be,
Siosa. Death, slur, or letter.
we just had so here's the thing is we just had this sort of final conclusion of a letter arc that ran for like a year.
So we had death and a
So
letter.
this is in this way this is sort of epilogue.
We had some sort of like maybe what you would call a death note.
Could be. So the city is going into winter. And for everybody that is part of the council, there's an awareness that despair, the area that is around the whole city, is at the greatest risk through winter, and represents fully a sixth of the population of Freiburg. There's 600,000 people in Freiburg and 100,000 people surrounding it. So that's an enormous amount of food. It's an enormous amount of lack of heat. There has been an encampment around Freeburg for years, but it's never been as large as it is now. There are also new refugees coming up from Heelground lands because of the events that are there. And, there's also still an ongoing conflict between Seeger, who's still out there, and it has not been defeated yet. Posen has withdrawn and is going to be rebuilding her armies, and she has been defeated, and that reputation is spreading through Eisen, because Posen has never been defeated in a straight fight before, not when she was in command. There have been defeats of armies that she served in.
I was going to say, she ambushed us and lost.
Inside of her own territory. So there's a couple of things that I want to go over. One is, so I had developed a system of like reputation by court, because we have like the 5 courts that we kind of track like different spheres of influence inside of the city. Because I am going over a lot of stuff because Shadow's been gone and he's probably missed some of this. So the 5 courts, just as a refresher, are cups, which is like patrons, which are people who are like landlords, and generally speaking, they're commoners, but they might have like a bit more wealth, but they have influence either by virtue of deeds, as in they're really well known and well liked and respected, or they're landowners and whatnot. But generally speaking, the people who are part of the influence of cups have the system of power they do by the respect that is not owed but given to them anyway. Does that make sense? There is staves, which is sort of the opposite. It's the people who should have authority and should be respected by virtue of their birth, who were previously really led by Redmond Earhart, who is now gone and outside of the city, who still have a bit of an axe to grind against the council. They feel a little persecuted because of multiple events. Previously, I've been tracking all of these reputations, by the way, as like as individual values, but I realized like over time these should reset to 0. Even people who have something sort of hostile against you aren't necessarily holding a grudge for a long time. That becomes somebody's personal grudge, but as a group, it's sort of like we continue to live with each other. Does that make sense? So I've changed actually how I'm distributing this. It's going to go from a range of -20 to +20, but it's going to be an additional mechanic on top of what exists when you guys are using reputation actions. You can basically bolster it a little bit extra if it's groups that already like you, and you can't use as many dice if they don't. There's coins, which is the merchants of the city. There's swords, which is the criminals. And lastly, there are crosses, which are like the religious figures within the city. And like really zealous and faithful members of the flock tend to parrot the views of their ministers. Does that make sense? So in general, you guys have a +2 reputation with, and +2 is the max. Like, so this, when I say +2, it means 2 extra dice on rolls with this grip. Does that make sense? For those who are from the cups, like landlords, ladies like Gertrude and Oscar. It's Oscar who's Honoring's landlord, right? No, Waldo.
Waldo.
Sorry, yeah,
Waldo.
We even had a whole Where's Waldo joke with it. They get a bonus reputation with them because, generally speaking, the actions of the council as a whole has been perceived to be very beneficial to them. And to those that they represent, which is really sort of like the common folk of the city. They have a -10 as yet with the nobles. The fact that they actually put their money where their mouth is and went out and fought a war against Posen to defend the city, even the hardest, most even those with like the worst things to say about the council, they're not saying them right now. It's a bad luck. Merchants is even across the board. There was some, with the Relaskier and with Hans Upman, there were some questions afterwards, like that was dipping, but again, with the kind of heroism of like the war effort, it's leveled out. It's so even those who are protective of Upman still think it wasn't personal at this point. Does that make sense? Lastly, largely due to the growing influence of Felix and his gang, swords is a positive reputation at this point. And the council is viewed to be like, they're not viewed to be corrupt, but they're not viewed to be like, you automatically go to jail because you're a criminal. Does that make sense? It's more like crime is a part of the city and we know it and we tolerate it.
It's more
And lastly,
abusive.
yeah, it's it's understanding. And then lastly, there's the crosses, which is the religious folks, which is still at a +1, largely due to the anti-Inquisition efforts and the efforts to save Cardinal Siosa in the past. So, and it was asked if it was going to be on the test. No, it's not going to be a test. So, there's we're actually going to be cutting to the bear house because I'd like kind of people to, I think Rose has probably sent out word, that Gerard is back. Was Gerard actually here when the bear house was taken in the first place?
I remember that house, but I don't know if it was taken or if we were just leasing rooms there.
So
she would have said, "Hey, meeting at the bear house," but she wouldn't have told them that Gerard's back.
Okay. She's called for meeting.
Honoring's probably there because it's possible her play has debuted at this point.
I think they're in I think they're probably like getting
rehearsals?
ready for a reveal tomorrow. Like they're in like dress rehearsals. So a description for Gerard of what the bear house is. The bear house was originally like a bunch of houses that were built too close together and they all kind of like fell and slumped on each other. And then they turned it into the worst stage in the city. The worst acoustics, sort of an excuse for people to get together and like drink. And then on top of it, the plays that were being performed were body opera burlesque shows. So it was as much about topless theater as it was about sort of off-key singing. That was the bear house when Gerard left. Does that make sense? It was considered like the theater to avoid. But as he's approaching it now, it is one of like the most esteemed establishments in the city. It has like all of the carpentry has not been done to replace the sort of slumped house look, but it has all been reinforced so it's no longer in danger of collapsing on itself. And all the acoustics have been improved. There's like a top shelf bar. The floors have been redone so that they practically gleam. And like the stage that is on stage when Gerard comes in is absolutely a work of art. At the time he comes in, there is a very bare-breasted Vadachi woman singing her heart out on stage, and sidestepping a few of the technical folks who are still putting together parts of the stage as she runs through her choreography. She does, pause in the middle of like while Runa's working and sits on her back just to be a brat because she is still Veronica.
Runa would absolutely just like allow it and laugh a little bit about it. Just
Yeah,
sure.
Veronica.
Just give her a goose.
Yeah. Yeah, Veronica's just fully like, you can't tickle me, I'm singing. The entire thing kind of goes off course for a little bit. When
you can't sit on me, I'm working.
She's like, but I am sitting on you, even though you're working.
And I'm gonna tickle you even though you're singing.
Yeah, she wraps her arms around her from behind and starts to plant very lipstick-covered smooches across Runa's cheeks. Like, she's gonna have to explain them to Jaras, but
yeah.
But it's not the first time she's had to explain. They're just Veronica kisses.
Yeah, and Veronica, he knows is not a threat.
At which point I'm thinking is probably who's going to be here before Gerard arrives? Like Rosa. All right, so we're looking at like Hans and Gavr, the later arrivals.
Probably.
Okay.
Because how close are we after last episode, time wise?
We're several days.
Okay, so Hans is probably still recovering.
Yeah.
Runa, I assume we already have Runa set at the bear house, but she has very much been like checking in on her patients, like making sure Hans is good, making sure the Nibelung is good.
We can assume that Ittori is actually there, still getting some kind of like post checks and stuff like that. And the Nibelungen is, I think she's probably currently at the Rosencross's house, their chapter house.
Yeah, that makes
mostly
sense.
because she needs kind of more extensive
Yeah.
care. So I'll let everybody. We'll go around. We'll have everybody describe what they're doing at the time that Gerard enters, starting with Rosa.
Rosa has absolutely been waiting for Gerard to show back up. And kind of waiting to watch everyone else as well. And she's more waiting to see their reactions because she knows, I want to say Len met him way back in the day. Gav.
We've all
Everyone
met
but Honorine.
Yeah.
But it
And
He was just the
barely
man
in
that was supposed to
passing
get
for
her a
some of
house.
us.
And the moment he does, as loudly as she can, she just says, "Welcome back, Gerard."
I think at this point, I assume Veronica's off of her at this point.
She can easily be tumbled off. She is a tiny slip of a thing. So
Okay, like Runa sees Gerard, drops what she's doing, politely just like starts moving. So Veronica knows, hey, it's time to move.
Okay.
And like just runs and hugs him.
Oh yeah. The letter guy. Did that get delivered?
As Runa is charging across the room, Jord has his hand in his hand half off before he catches her in the leaping hug.
And like,
takes a step back.
I don't know if he's ever gotten a Runa hug, but these are
No.
Vestin bear hugs.
It is good to see you again, Runa.
It's an impromptu chiropractic adjustment.
Yeah.
the last time you saw Runa, she was still recovering as well. Like, because she'd been enslaved for as long as she had and stuff like that. She has gotten a lot of her strength back. It was how it just hoped.
Yeah. She also has a lot more runes than you remember her having.
When Gerard greets her, it's in broken Urson. Your language.
She's Vestin.
She's Vestin. Len is Usarin.
I had forgotten. Just good to see you all. But before I make my greetings, he looks around looking for Honorine.
Honorine's there. She's kind of she's not dressed like a noblewoman. She's definitely like dressed down, especially for Montaigne. Because she's like working, I guess, or as close to working as Honorine gets. And she's very like she's got like a parchment in her hand. She's got, a pen. She's like making notes. She's still like she's involved in this production, obviously. But she's sort of frozen on the stage. Like, did I hear that name right? Like her head kind of cocked to the side. I think she and Gerard knew each other. I don't know from his perspective how much he recognized Honorine, but I think for Honorine, he was like a part of her household. He dated her cousin. He was like in her orbit, and she knows who he is. She knows what he looks like, and like she's like looking at him like I don't remember. Is that his dad? Like that's not. She's like got this very like, look on her face.
And Gerard crosses the room, stands before her for a moment, goes down on one knee holding his hat. Forgive me, my lady. I have done you wrong in leaving you here alone while I tended to other errands. But duty called, and I had to serve another for a period of time.
You're forgiven. I understand. And I think she still speaks with a Montaigne accent. It's just that my French accent is terrible. So you're just gonna have to use your imagination. But she's very like, I think my aunt would actually love to see you.
I am certain that she will. I have much to answer for my disappearance.
Uh, well, yes and no.
You are very kind.
No,
My family may have lost their lands and their title, but noblesse oblige is still a thing.
it's true. And she's just like very like thrown. She's like, he's a blast from a past that like doesn't exist anymore. So she's just like, I I understand. I understand. And I of course I appreciate that you would apologize. You'll be happy to know that it has worked out, and the city has been very welcoming, not only to me, but to many of the Cease family, actually.
I am glad to hear that.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you found your way back here. Please get up, please. Please get off my stage. And she says it like it's joking, you know.
Of course, Mindy. And he stands and then he turns back to everybody else. I see you are in good health.
Not for lack of trying by many different forces.
Some better than others.
It sounds like we have some stories to exchange.
We probably do. But did that letter get where it was supposed to go?
Not only did it get to where it was supposed to go, mon ami, it has brought fate upon its back to this very doorstep, and me along with it.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
We should probably talk where it is safe.
So upstairs where we've got the runes? Alright. Let me arrange some food. We may be up there a while. And some drinks.
Gav just sort of helps Len with that, grabbing a bottle of Montaigne wine from the top shelf.
I'm thinking Hans is probably arriving late at that point. It's taking a
Got a
little
really-
bit longer to walk across the city.
A really funny one. So he opens the big doors and like looks around. Oh, and he, there's footsteps, very slow footsteps, and the third thunk of what is likely a cane. Yeah, hello.
Up here.
Pushes the door open. Hey, guten Tag. Heilige Scheiße, Gerard. Is that you?
Guten Tag, Hans.
Oh, my God. God, how long has it been? It's good to see you. Walks over, give him a proper clap on the back hug.
He gets one in return. It's nice and place to put Gerard's hat.
Oh, it's been so long.
It
Worried
has
about
been
you.
a lifetime.
Oh,
You have missed
Okay,
many
so-
adventures, my friend.
oh.
I would say that I had a few of my own along the way.
So there's a moment as Gerard is like looking at Hans that it's like he can see, the soldier and the man who, while injured is still keeping himself upright. But there's a moment where he sees it's like a crack in a mask, and he can see a much grayer skin tone. I'll let Hans kind of describe the changes that Gerard would see briefly.
The brief flashes of the same man, the same stature, but his skin is very pale, like almost bordering on white or ash at this point. The kind of walnut brown hair is jet black, and while his hair has grown longer, the black hair seems to move a little bit of its own accord in some like unseen super gentle breeze. And the most striking feature would be his eyes. His eyes are a dark blue, a dark kind of roiling blue with pupils that almost look like if you took a round bit of glass, shattered it on the ground. That fragmented, bizarre, like alien eyes. And it's in a moment it's gone. It just looks like his injured self.
Anna is with him. She understands that, like, there's council business that's been called, you know what I'm saying? But she, since his injuries, she's been sort of walking with him everywhere.
Yeah.
Anna is about 13, 14. She's got the same kind of walnut brown hair that Hans described for when his glamour is not being pierced. Done up in pigtails, but unusually, especially for a woman, she's wearing pants and like a tight fitted coat. She's not wearing like the full Wakun uniform anymore, but like she seems to have acclimated to it fairly well, and she's not back in a dress as yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is Anna, my younger sister.
And Anna goes through. It's sort of like the motions of somebody who reflexively curtsies on introduction, but then realizes like she doesn't have a dress to curtsy with, so she just sort of has parts of the pants that she's wearing, you know what I'm saying, and she inclines her head. She says, "A pleasure to meet you, Master Joao."
Pleasure to meet you as well, Fräulein.
And she kind of reaches and squeezes Hans' arm, and she says, "Send a messenger, and I'll walk back with you."
All right, then I guess we walk and or limp up to the meeting room.
Yeah, so the meeting room upstairs has Honorine has a murder board on one wall. Has just a whole lot of stuff on it. It's frequently covered with canvas out of, necessity.
The
There's also
table's probably still bloody.
oh yeah, there was an operation in here recently. There's a rune that's been inscribed into the door that sort of like flickers magically, like when the door is closed.
It's the one that you see on Runa's neck. Sorry.
And this is an area that was like, it was an attic that was above like the main floor of like the Bearhausen. And there was a hole that was punched into the center of the floor that's since been smoothed over and recarpeted.
A roughly
It's a very nice
bear-sized
rug.
hole.
Approximately, yeah. Fair
Yeah.
size.
Yeah, but there's still sort of like, for somebody who knows carpenter, like, something was fixed here, this collapsed, and now this is our meeting area. Okay.
Well then,
So, what you been up to, buddy?
Begin.
Honorin's gonna make tea.
Biscuits and things.
what
I
have I
wouldn't
been?
trust his biscuits, but we'll get some from the baker.
You asked what I have been up to. Well, I have been. I've been helping fight a war that should never have been fought, and getting the guardian of the proper era, Montagny, back to his homeland.
Been kind of trying to do that too. We got him at least out of the mountains.
Out of the mountains.
Oh, you don't know.
We
How
fought
were you?
Posen.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on. I need some clarification here. If you were helping him, how do you not know what has been going on for like weeks and months? If it's not too personal.
There's not so much personal as difficult for me to explain.
Are you indisposed?
No, I died.
Oh, that happens around here.
That would do it, yeah.
Goes to it.
So
Gav
who or what
makes
brought
sure
you
that
back?
Gerard gets a full glass of wine and hands it to him.
And he takes it.
The whole room looks over at Hans. Just
Who or what
Yeah,
brought
Rose
you
is just-
back? Because it's always
Look.
somebody or something.
The best that I can explain it is the mother of the nation.
Oh,
agreed
mom brought you
to
back?
make efforts to bring my people home and would not let me die on her soil.
That sounds like mom, yeah. What did she look like?
I'm sorry, it sounds like who?
Matrushka. I call her mom. She hasn't smote me for it yet, so I figure she's fine with it.
As to what she looked like. Forgive me, milady, for my words, but it is the only way I can understand to explain. A crone bleeding from her own wounds, walking through the winter. There is a babe.
She wasn't wearing, normally she has like a, kind of like a sackcloth sort of thing under all the hair.
I did not
Bear.
see it past the hair that was covering her.
Oh, okay, well, that's fair. Yeah, no, that was,
I was dead.
yeah, no, then. we
In
got
my
that.
defense, I was dead at the time.
Your Honor,
no, that
I
makes
was
sense.
dead.
So, he and the army ended up trapped right at the border of Usura and Fauner Posen's land. Posen was bribed by the Emperor to bring his head to the Emperor. Millions of gold was on the line.
That then explains why he would not parlay.
Yeah, she, well, we all knew what she was going to do if he actually tried to parlay. That kind of worked into the plan, but
It was the same thing that the last lord that he tried to parlay with, which was ambush him and tried to execute him.
yeah, I heard about that. Kathrinia told us all about how he surrendered and the previous Gaius went back on his word, and then there was the coup, and Kathrinia is now the new Gaius, and
That is good for her. She was instrumental in our survival and our escape.
yeah, well, she always worked to curb his worst excesses. May he rot in whatever number of hells there are that people can rot in. And so we've been working to get him free. And apparently you woke up just after that happened. So now we have what's left of that army out in despair. Did you hear about the Emperor being driven out of the capital because of the peasant revolution?
No,
'Cause-
this is
that was too recent, Len.
Yeah, that was too recent. I don't know. He might have woken up like at small periods just to get little bits of information or heard something while he was sleeping.
You mean woken up from being dead? Intermittently and then died again? What?
How long were you dead?
how long ago did the general escape?
Okay, so a little bit.
Let me put this to this way to you, my friend. I was shot on the field of battle escaping the castle.
Oh yeah, that has a bit of it. Han still has you beat, but you know that's a pretty good record for being dead in this group.
Who's having me beat?
Len is a small child when it comes to some personal things. It's not a competition to see who has been dead longer, Len. Come on.
No,
Focus on what we're doing here.
not a pleasant experience. I think
There's a lot.
Best-
Everybody seems to trust him. He was apparently part of the council before the council was even really a council. I don't know what he did or didn't know.
Then stop talking.
It's just all I mean is it's a silly matter to make a competition out of who has been dead longer. That's all I mean.
Oh God.
Where else are you going to be able to do that?
Len,
Amore.
Len, stop.
We're
I
so
think
talking.
we need to
God.
Stop
strange.
it.
It's an option to stop talking.
It is an option to stop digging the hole.
Yeah, but Matrushka didn't wave no
Len!
quitters.
Amore.
Fine.
Well, so as you can see, effectively, nothing has changed since you have left. Not much has changed.
Regarding our homeland,
Quite a bit has changed. Just
A lot and nothing at the same time. Yeah.
well, let's be correct. Len has not changed.
See,
unfortunately.
He has
Perhaps
caused
me.
some
Small
changes,
bit.
duh.
Yeah.
immediate hit into Gav. Immediate hit into Gav.
Yeah, it's weird. It's only like I was, instrumental in saving Honorine's life, and this is the way she treats me because her sister and I hooked up.
You're going to be my brother-in-law,
That
and
is-
honestly, I'm not sure. I
An understatement a little.
wouldn't have preferred the dying part.
That's
The
not
brother-in-law.
You were instrumental in saving Honorine's life.
Oh yeah. That was. You want to tell them about that, Honorine? Since I apparently talk too much.
Why don't you tell it since you can't shut up?
This is the part where you do continue talking, my friend.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Honorine was betrayed, labeled a witch by the Inquisition, kidnapped, taken to the Inquisition headquarters here in the city. We found her there, broke her out, eventually drove the Inquisition from the city. That was actually a really good time overall. And she then kept talking about how she was supposed to have a house and where certain somebody was who was supposed to arrange things and make her life as, rose petal path it has always had been. And then she had to learn how to be a normal person, and she hates it.
Melody, I owe you more of an apology.
I have to ask, what is Rosa's actual reaction right now? I know that Sarah is dying.
Yeah, Sarah's dying. Rosa, there is half of
Pretty
a
sure
like
the same reaction.
there is she's trying to say so very serious and like, yep, I'm in charge of this meeting. But underneath
Her-
she's like,
Her face is redder than Gerard's wine.
oh yeah, her face is very red as she's trying not to laugh, but she's trying to keep it super professional.
Milady,
Yeah.
I owe you more than I even thought, because it was my duty to keep you safe, and I was not here. And I appreciate that Monsieur Len was here to do what I was supposed to do. But my debt to you is not yet paid, even with your forgiveness.
Well, it wasn't when it happened before I was put actually into your charge. You were at the time only charged with preparations. I was taken rudely hostage on the way to blanking on the name of the city. Freiburg. I was rudely taken hostage on the way to Freiburg from the Sistusis estate by the swordsman who was hired by my aunt to take me there, and it would have been a murder, but other forces intervened. But because of that, on our arrival to Freiburg, the swordsman, out of character, GM, we did find him, right? So we found him.
Yeah, and then Ettore had brought him back to testify, except that
And
things
then
went
he
bad
got-
on the trip,
Yeah.
Right.
and he got eaten by Porte demons.
He got
Why?
demons.
Ugh. Yeah.
Well, since Gerard does not know that, the next question that he asks,
Well, and
Yeah.
so Honorin's kind of recounting a little bit, like, he brought me here, he later was found, and unfortunately on his way to trial, he was lost to Porte.
so the swordman is dead.
Yes. More's the pity.
Do we know who hires the sword?
I don't believe we got that far before.
Very well. Then I suppose this to you, I will find who hired the swordman and is able to pay for this atrocity.
I believe we had our suspicions. God, this is like ancient history at this point. Out of character, that's me. More pressing, you should also know that Charus has recently been occupied by an uprising of my associate tells me that it's impolite to refer to them as peasants anymore. It's been occupied by the populace, however, and the palace has been emptied of L'Empereur, and he rules in absentia. My associate Anjay, who I'm delighted to introduce you to later.
That would be Do you know if the general is aware of this?
I believe he is.
Yep. As part of working to get him out of the mountains, we made sure he was informed about what was going on in his home country.
That explains that then.
So Honoré knows something else that is probably very pressing to Gerard, which is that he knows that at one point Gerard was engaged to Charlotte prior to it being broken off when Gerard's family lost their nobility.
Right.
That fucking
Dodge
bitch.
that bullet. Dodge that bullet.
Yeah, not a bullet, a nuke.
And so she as she's talking about all of this, and talking about kind of the nobility and the populace, and such, she's like, I don't have word of your family, but I suspect they're safe given their change in position. You should also know that my cousin does reside in the city currently.
We do not like her.
And she's going to, before they can really, I guess Gav got that out, but before they can really say a whole lot more, she's going to kind of glance around to them and be like, my cousin to whom you had previously been engaged.
Oh.
What does she do? And look at her husband.
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry, you broke up.
What is she doing here? And what of her husband?
Well, she is here with her husband, and they seem
She's
to
a
have
slaver now.
entered into an enterprise that is less than savory.
And that's not Runa just blabbing, it actively affects her.
No, I know. I feel like Honorine is like trying to say sentences and getting like interjections from all over the room and just like determinedly finishing her sentence anyway.
She's trying to be politically correct about it, but she's got Eisen and Vestin in the room, and they're just a little bit too blunt for that.
And so she's like,
Runa
and
actively wants Charlotte's head.
has entered into an enterprise that is less than savory, unfortunately. And we are actually only holding off on her arrest so that we can find out more about where she has brought some of her merchandise. Merchandise.
Victims.
Forgive my disbelief, but what is your evidence that she has willingly participated in this endeavor?
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. She took a member of my family there. I've seen it. I've looked in. I've seen it.
Also snuck in and peeped on her business ledger. She also runs a ceramics factory here in the city. Her and her husband. But the thing that leads us to believe that she is head of this operation is, I mean, in my opinion at least, partly her husband's demeanor. But we found her ledger with her handwriting detailing many unsavory business dealings.
We're also trying to figure out how much her husband knows. He can't be in the dark, but
Yeah, that part is still a bit of
I don't know.
plus on the details.
It seems like some sort of game to her. When I did look in on Gris to see her there, she was flirting with, I forgot what the fucker's name was, super scary slaver guy.
Kiradin.
Kiradin, another slaver, infamous at that. He seems to enjoy the job.
So be careful if you go to visit her.
My lady, Honorary,
Yes.
you have known Charlotte since she was a little girl.
Yes.
Please tell me you'll remember this is, as I do, this is out of character for her.
Yes.
A lot can change when someone's comfort is on their line.
What if it's not her, though?
Oh my.
I did not check. I'm so sorry, Honorine. I should have checked.
There has not been an occurrence of a second Charlotte that we've seen.
True,
it
but
wouldn't
that is
hurt
not
to check.
how they normally walk. They normally kill the first one and then assume the identity.
Well, can they use Porte? I don't think they can, and we know Charlotte does. And her husband does not have Porte.
And have we seen her? We've seen her do that
Yes.
as of late.
So have
Oh,
we
Yes, we
seen,
did.
have we actually seen her porte?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gav looks to Girard. Is like, one of our current annoyances is a woman who can change her appearance. She has She is a Selkie cloak
I
and
was not.
has powers of alchemy that can do strange things.
I was actually talking about the Cernith.
Oh,
not mean to throw which is the word I am looking for here. A kink into your rope, but most of what you are saying does not make any sense to me. It is out of character. You describe it out of character from the Charlotte that I knew. She had the sorceress's blood, but she did not possess the skills. True, one can learn and develop into the skills, and it has been a very long time since our engagement was a novelty. But still, my heart tells me that there is something here that is being missed.
Well, it
Well,
certainly would be. It's a terrible turn of events.
is there another royal, like, fancy peerage party anytime soon that we could get Rosa in on to take a little look?
I don't see why we would need to. We can just go visit Charlotte. I'm her kin.
Yeah, but
Uh,
she's terrible. We both agree on that. She's the worst.
You still visit your kin even when they're terrible, Len.
Is that how it works? I
If
don't have
you-
any, so
If you had a family, you would understand this, and since you're going to have a family, you really should understand it.
You're going to have family?
yep. Len reaches over and kind of takes Rose's hand and gives her a little squeeze. Says we are.
You're the reason for the ring. Well, congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Now,
There was a reference earlier where Adrian's like, he's going to be my brother-in-law. I kind of think I would have chosen death, but I was talked over.
Yeah, but who needs to hear that kind of salt?
There's
Monsieur,
a knock on the door as you guys are speaking. It's like relatively soft, like somebody doesn't want to interrupt, unless it's if it's like
Adrian
unless
goes
it's
to
like
the
not
door.
critical at the moment. Itori's there, looking like he has regretted the choice to climb the stairs.
I know that feeling.
He's been at the bear house the entire time. You know what I'm saying? He says the very tall blonde smith is here. This is an
Ooh.
I have
cancel.
I'm gonna go
I
say
have
hello.
something for
Livy.
her.
Adrian's like, ooh, I'm gonna go say hello.
Yeah, Henri just shoves Tori off the stairs and just marches down.
Let me help
She's
you.
here.
No, let me help you back down the stairs, Satori.
Is she wanting to
Notori
come
kind of
up?
waves through the door. He says, I believe so.
You could have sent Veronica,
She's rehearsing.
Could have sent anyone else.
And he
Please
just
take
kind
it
of
easy,
he
Tori.
he smiles because he's like, maybe I wanted an excuse to see you.
And she does help him down the stairs to go greet
Yeah,
the Smith and bring her up.
The Nibelung is there, and she is like bandaged. She's out of bed and stuff like that. She's wearing clothes that like cover most of the bandages, but she clearly took the brunt of it.
Are you okay?
She says, I'm recovering.
I see that.
I was not expecting quite the hostility from Posen's nobility at my presence on the battlefield, but in retrospect, I perhaps should have.
You may be pleased to know that it looked like your brethren were forced to be there. I don't know.
She nods. She was there for that part, actually.
Right. So like different phrasing, but like
she's-
you may have been pleased. Hopefully you were gratified to find out that your brethren were there by force and not by choice, at least.
She says, it is actually about that matter that I've come to speak to the council.
Does it need to be in private, or should I bring them downstairs instead of having you go up?
I'll let it be your choice, and I don't object to the stairs. So the woman who comes in is a tall, incredibly tall example of an Eisen woman. She's also broad-shouldered. She wears it. I think Gerard is probably the only one who's not familiar with her and doesn't necessarily recognize the symbol, but she has a hammer with a specific symbol on it at her side. We've decided that this person is being played by Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones fame for a mental visual. She she pushes herself up the stairs, and she smiles as she comes into the room, looking at first like she's intending to kind of stand as she addresses everybody, but almost quickly sort of like second guesses that.
Gav stands to give her. Yeah, Gav stands to give her his seat.
There is no name that's been given for her. She's called Nibelungen because the Nibelungen specifically don't give their names, so as a protection. And she sits after Gav offers the seat. She's like,
Lady
"Thank you."
Nibelungen, this is Gerard Saint Germain Dupé. He's an associate of my family. He's
She
It's
trustworthy.
good to see you up.
You are a member of the council also.
Not
We-
as such.
He
Yes,
is.
no, he is.
Yeah.
He absolutely is.
She smiles. She says, I am a bit short then, she says, from what I intended. I'm afraid I will have to offer you an IOU, but I will make good on that. She reaches into a pocket and she takes out what are they're little like cloak pins kind of thing, like that small, just like a little detailed thing. But they are made of Draconizing. They're absolutely no protection in a fight. They're a purely symbolic gesture, and they're actually marked with like the hammer of the Nibelung. Does that make sense? And
Is it
there's one for
similar at
each
all
member.
to the coin Runa has?
No, that coin that she got in the basement of
No,
Pilgrim?
she has a coin from the Nibelung.
Oh yeah, that's like a favor coin, right? That she got from returning the sheath
breastplate
of the Imperator's sword, or the breastplate.
Mhm.
She it is the same mark, but this is like a smaller version of it. Does that make
Okay.
sense? She says the laws of the Imperator are very specific, that Draconizing items cannot be forged for those members, those who have done service for Eisen, but are not Eisen themselves. So this is an old law. It is the Imperator's law. It was so that Draconizing did not become something to trade to other nations. She says, but one of these, and she sets it down, is a marker to the Nibelung, that they will forge an item for its bearer that can be given to someone from Eisen. Says Draconizing is always given as a reward for heroic endeavor, and there is nothing more heroic than going to battle against an Iron Prince to save the lives of Nibelungen. You have done so, and the Nibelungen recognizes this debt and offers one to each of you.
Thank you. But to clarify the statement, because I may have heard wrong, these are a token that will allow us to request an item that can be given to somebody not from Eisen, or it still only works for people from Eisen? Because
It would be something that you could give to a noble of Eisen, or to an Eisen citizen, that would give all of the benefits of an item that had been bequeathed by the Nibelungen themselves. You have the ability to recognize heroism and nobility in other Eisen. And so long as you carry it, the Nibelungen will recognize that favor is owed, regardless of whether it is cashed in or not. You will be recognized simply by bearing it as a friend of the Nibelungen.
Okay, but it can't be used to make equipment for us, because especially me or Gav,
For
because we're
Gav
not actually.
or for Han, no, for Gav you
Gav
could.
is-
For Hans you could.
because
we would
they're
be
landed
willing to do so.
nobility now. Or
Well,
Because they're
Gav-
Eisen. They don't have to be landed.
Yeah.
they're just nobility.
You just gotta
No,
be
it's
Eisen.
because we're
They
Eisen.
just
No.
have to
They're
be Eisen.
It's
For some reason,
Len
because
is
of-
Usurin.
Gav's accent always makes me think he's not actually Eisen.
His father is a Surin, but he's never met his father.
That's fair.
His mother was a Jenny.
And with apologies, the Nibelungen says, Freiburg is a sewer of accents. There are so many people from so many places that come here. A melting pot might be a better word, but a place where all things mix together.
It's good to see you up. Two, speaking of Draconizing, I have yet another thing to return to.
She says, a trophy from the battlefield?
More or less. I feel like she probably would have it hidden somewhere in the room instead of her house where there's a child that will see, ooh, shiny.
Running around with her new knife and a Draconizing shield.
A little bit
Oh,
horrifying.
God.
Using the shield as a sled for the snowbanks outside.
And she like grabs the shield from its hiding spot and hands it to her.
And she like opens the paper that's been wrapped around it, and her eyes go wide. She says, "You have returned 2 items of imperial raiment to the Nibelungen."
I'm beginning to wonder if she has the others hidden somewhere and she's just returning them one by one so she can see you.
She laughs. She's like, "Do you have the Imperator hidden away somewhere?"
Runa, not expecting that question, just goes. And like laughs awkwardly.
She laughs as well.
I'm afraid I do not.
Everyone
Runa,
definitely
like,
doesn't look at hands.
Runa shoots like a quick glance at Hans, but like very fast.
Okay, I'm gonna need a quick so this is not a person who is possessed of extraordinary social graces, but she's being paired against Runa, who is also not the queen of subtlety. So I feel like she has a very decent chance to actually like pick up on things.
Yeah.
Runa has a really good resolve.
Oh,
what am I rolling?
You're roll. Okay.
Am I rolling resolve?
No, I think it's got to be wits. It's got to be wits.
Oh no! Can I use my appearance?
I will let you use your appearance. I will also let you use your craftsman, because that is her primary skill.
Okay.
Her like identification skill.
What?
Oh, but I'm
what
gonna
is
roll
the
5
addition
additional dice because
for...
she's got 5 craftsmen too.
Oh.
Of course, I don't know the Imperator.
I just added an extra dot to surgeon
so I'm
instead of...
still only keeping 3 dice. I'm just figuring out what the best 3 dice are real quick. So it looks like I've got 2 9s and a 12. So that's she's got a 30 to beat.
Okay. Using my appearance, is it extra dice or a plus? Or
it's 2 extra uncapped dice. If you have the second level of beauty.
I'm at stunning.
So you have 2 extra.
2 extra, okay.
I think stunning is 1, isn't it?
No, stunning is the second level. Above average is 1. Stunning, blessed, and extraordinary.
It's called blessed because everyone else in the room is blessed to see you.
Okay. She manages to keep it from the Nibelungen.
Runa just like kind of chokes a bit because she knows the Imperator.
She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that as an accusation. It was a poor attempt at a joke.
I found it funny. It just took me off guard. Unfortunately, I do not have any additional Draconized and hidden away.
Just
that I could return.
Gerard, you can also go ahead and make a wits roll that is against the 42 that Ruth rolled.
That was a triple explosion.
He picks up something that's like, there is something awry here.
Three of those 10s exploded.
I was about to say, Gerard doesn't, Shadow did, but...
That was funny. That was perfect.
Wait, does Rosa also not know?
I don't think Rosa knows. I don't think you guys filled Rosa in.
No, only Runa, Honorine, and Gav know.
Yeah.
I thought Len saw.
No, Len doesn't know.
Oh, okay, Len doesn't.
Len
know.
was
Well,
on the other side
jokes.
of Eisen.
Wait,
yeah, that's true.
Is the painting sitting on the murder board, by the way? Like,
there's a giant
up and leaned
painting right
against it.
beside.
No, I'm just
them.
picturing it like
Clues
rolled up
in.
and leaned against it. Like
It
we don't
is
even know what to do with this.
So wait, what do we roll to figure this out?
What am I rolling?
You roll your wits. Because I gave Runa the benefit of her appearance, I'm going to give Rosa the benefit of hers.
Do I get to go to
Dangerous beauty doesn't work in here, does it?
No, only
You're
for
not trying to
seduction.
seduce anybody.
Only stunning?
Only stunning.
Okay.
Or above average experience.
I'm
Does
calling
keen
the.
senses work into this?
I will let you take appearance or keen senses, but not both.
I'm genuinely
The-
shocked
The
Runa
appearance
pulled
version
that
for me
off.
is game recognizes game, and the keen senses is just I can tell what people are up to.
All right. So I'm rolling my wits plus my appearance. Is that
Yes,
correct?
if
Seven.
you have the craftsman skill, Bruna craftsman is your primary like thing, right? And this whole thing was done between two craftsmen. Well, it was between two craftsmen
Oh,
because you were
okay.
deceiving a craftsman. So if you have the craftsman skill, that will add as well.
Glenn got
Okay.
nothing.
37 on a 14 keep 4. Holy shit.
Runa is a trustworthy
Rude.
person.
No. If you have a 14 keep 4, that becomes 10 keep 10
10K
plus
8.
40.
Oh,
You should-
right.
How
Oh,
are you
shit.
getting? How are you getting to 10?
No, she's
keep
getting
10?
she's
Wait, how are you getting 14?
it's
my stunning. It's 10.
No. That's the cost of the advantage. It gives you 2 extra dice.
Oh.
Put the numbers next
That would
to
be
it,
the most
and I
broken.
didn't know
Like this is
why.
like we're playing by Hollywood rules. 10
this
extra dice for
is Star Wars D6.
I was really confused. I was like, is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that number? Like,
Rosa gave
No,
it a
otherwise I
boulder.
would have rolled
two
a lot
extra.
higher. I
Oh
fear.
wow, what a shitty roll for Gerard. He's
Gerard's
only
just
rolling
like
4.
Well, he's
he has a
just
wits of
his-
4,
No, I have a wits of 3 and stunning appearance of 1.
so that would be 4K3. That's okay. Well,
Oh,
even if we
yeah.
like discard the lowest, it's still
okay, I really
not
misdid
good.
that. Sorry.
Even with the 14 keep 4, it didn't make it.
Yeah. So
She trusts Runa.
Runa has this one in the bag.
It's like Runa panicked for a moment and then realized she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Gavin honoring watching the whole thing just
They're just like
Like, it
looking.
is-
Gavin Honoring's eyes meet like over somebody's head, and we're just like,
Like, it really is just like a. No.
The Nibelungen says, I need to bring you a second coin, and I will bring another token for Gerard.
all right then.
Oh,
She says the coin that you were given before, that it can be exchanged to create anything within the Nibelungen's ability to craft.
No.
But she's Vestin.
It cannot be for her, but we do recognize the heroism of what she's done.
Nibelungen,
I was
we
just
would-
wondering if the coin was
but-
different from the other coin.
So can they do a Dracheneisen bassinet?
She looks very thoughtful for a moment, and she says, from a technical sense, yes, it would be. Not even the Imperator was in such luxury as a babe.
What is to come of those at Nibelungen who are on the unfortunate side of Posen in our engagement?
They're still in recovery, and many of them are taking on apprentices now.
How did she get
The
her hands on
recognition.
them?
She says there are Nibelungen in every country, or in every Koenig.
Each Konek has their own Dracheneisen mine, so they have to have their own smiths to forge said Dracheneisen.
And she looks a little like surprised at Hans, and she says, "Yes, exactly."
Are the Nibelungen taking an official stance, given what Posen has done to them and their order?
She deserves
Yes,
to
the
lose her
Nibelungen.
Koenig.
That is not our right to withdraw, but she will no longer have Dracheneisen made for her or any noble who serves her. Until such time as the Nibelungen agreed that appropriate restitution has been forfeited.
Quite a blow. Oof.
Says in the past, such occasions have been the forfeiture of all Dracheneisen items ever made for their lineage.
She would be punished more appropriately if there was actually an imperator.
She would.
Honoring does not look at hands.
Thank you.
Hey, you should be thanking me too. Runa covered that shit up flawlessly.
That was quite excellent. She says that was the matter that I asked to speak to you before.
But you're recovering well, and
I am being treated well, she says, and I do not require the same level of treatment that my compatriots do, but they are quite grateful for the Rosencross's hospitality.
Good.
Their
The reason you
torture
didn't
was
die.
extensive.
She doesn't say that.
Honoring's gonna send them all well, there's no way to send them flowers. I don't know, paper flowers. She's gonna send them some sort of basket later. She can't send a fruit basket either because it's winter. But she'll figure something out.
She starts to rise, but then she pauses and she looks to Gav. She says, "You have been landed and given recognition by the Nibelungen for heroic effort." Says, "And I understand that you are to be wed soon." Says, "If there is something that you would like to wear at the time of your marriage, an item of Drakenisen, we can begin work on it immediately."
Make it Drakenized in hand.
Oh, what if they
I
could
would-
plate your
I would
hand?
Actually,
What if they could
reach-
plate your Cernith hand? That'd be so cool.
The Cernith hand changes. Len holds up his token. Can
Yeah.
you make him a gauntlet for his flesh hand?
We can do so.
Len's just gonna kind of push his token back. You are my friend. You are my meat mountain bro. And these pieces does me no good, but it can make sure, or at least help make it more likely that you get back to your wife and children. I can see no better use for it. It's not going to do me any good on my chest.
You honor me, friend. And you saved my life in the sewers. I would say that the debt is at least even for now, huh?
Sounds good to me, but I still want that gauntlet made. You may want to think of a breastplate or something, because there's a whole lot of chest for people to put things into.
We can attest to this.
She says, "Yeah, I'm willing to." She says, do you accept this gift?"
Da.
She says, "Come to the Rosencross's chapter house tomorrow, and the smiths that are there will measure your hand."
And I believe the breastplate would also be a good use of my token. My wife to be would be very disappointed if I did not come home one day.
She says, "For one of these, we can do a half plate. A breastplate is one of the largest pieces that we can construct."
I was like, I totally understand. There's a lot of me to cover.
Even if you were smaller, that would be the case.
Honoring will hold up her token and then offer it. What about if I give you this?
She says,
And if-
"With both, then we'd be willing to do so."
Here.
Runa was going to offer one of her coins.
Do you want to have Runa do that first? You've got a bunch of them, so I don't feel bad
do.
having
No,
you.
it's no. Let Runa. She has 3 things she
Because
can
the only
exchange.
other thing I can think of though is a gift for Fischler. So who has his own Drakenisen mine?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But,
She is going to hold up one of her coins.
yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing a little Panzer hand with a fishy on it.
I would like to contribute this to the cause.
Do you
boots
accept
or a
this,
helmet?
Gav?
What do you think?
How much armor is Gav gonna have by the end of this part?
This is good fucking armor too.
Yeah, right. I think the gauntlet and the breastplate.
Well, the coin was to contribute to the breastplate.
Yeah. You can go.
And Rosa, on top of Len's, puts hers down because she doesn't fight anyway.
I have a question. Would are children who are born of foreigners in Eisen, are they considered Eisen or no?
That is a question for Logan Seeker.
For the purposes of the Nibelungen, the Nibelungen.
That is a question for Logan Seeker because not every Iron Prince has acknowledged those born of foreigners as Eisen children,
I see.
and it is to the Koenig to decide.
She's gonna lean over to Rosa and be like, I suggest you keep yours. Because I suspect Logan will be happy to welcome your child as one of his citizens.
You think?
I would be very surprised if he did not. If you wanted your child to be considered one of the counted among the Eisen, I
Probably.
could not picture him saying no.
Probably better than being Vodachi.
I have doubts about that. Some of my favorite people are Vodachi.
Don't just hurt that. No. Not really.
Tori sneezes downstairs.
Tori.
That's you. Oh God. Ow. Ow.
Ow, my ribs.
And immediately Veronica, like she was talking about me.
Well,
Then she'll take
I
it
just-
back for right now.
I mean, Gav is going to be pretty well set up for a minor noble. Counselor, no, a breastplate and gauntlet on somebody his size is
Context:
A
minor
statement.
nobility only got me my Panzer hand. The minor nobility advantage only gave me enough points for the Panzer hand.
I just realized I've been chilling this whole time with Veronica kisses all over.
yeah.
No.
We haven't
When you
played
came
that off
upstairs,
versus-
when you came up, oh yeah, you still have the kisses definitely, but
She's looking for something to wipe them off. She probably caught her reflection in like something shiny and just goes,
At that point, Gerard would hand you a cloth.
And you know, the council didn't say anything because this is
I'll
not
tell
the
you what,
first
they hand you
time.
a cloth.
No,
This is not the
Thank
first
you.
time Veronica has just like left smoochies and then we had to discuss business. It's just a thing now.
We're all so used to it that we didn't
She's
even
very
see it
affectionate.
ourselves.
We love her.
we didn't even notice it. We were just like, yeah, that's normal.
one of our actors is very affectionate.
she says, I admire their liberty. She says I should go. I will let them know the Smiths know that they have work to do. If you have a coat of arms in mind, bring it with you. And if not, we can place the symbol of the council upon it.
Wait,
Gav
is there a
has an
council
idea.
symbol? I don't think we've actually ever settled
Yeah,
on an
no,
official.
you have, because Wilma gave you a signet ring that would have
Oh,
it.
the signet ring, yes.
Yeah.
We never use it, but
Yeah.
it's in a drawer somewhere.
I actually imagine it gets used every time somebody calls for a council meeting and like just stamped real quick on like whatever letter is like
Oh, okay.
sent with kids to distribute it.
Yeah, I think
But, like-
Honorine wears hers. Like, y'all might not, but she does.
Rosa would wear hers.
Bruna does wear hers.
Gav wears his on his Cernith hand because it doesn't fit his actual hand.
She does take the one of the tokens that was given to her and does like formally bequeath it to Gerard. And she says, I need to return.
Stay well.
Would you like me to escort you?
Um, she says that you were in the middle of council business and I interjected, and but I appreciate your seeing me on short notice.
Definitely
Anytime.
appreciate your signs of appreciation. They're going to help keep somebody very important to us alive.
Thank you very much for stopping by.
See.
Yeah, yeah.
And she heads down the stairs, and I'm kind of thinking we're like, I think there's like some celebration, catching Gerard up on like a lot of the list of things that have happened, like maybe a little bit more detail. I mean, finding out like Gav's engaged, Len and Rosa are engaged. Runa's mother has been rescued from elsewhere. I guess we're probably going to go with for depth at this point.
And is Odin?
Once
That's
everybody gets into their cups, Len and Gav share the story of how everybody, they went down into the sewer and fought the Verschlingen. Because Gav, he makes the comment all the time, but Len did the work with the poison.
Yeah.
Poison and a long
spear was
pointy stick.
That was the thing that saved our asses.
And why you should probably know why we suspect a Cernith might be involved with Charlotte's activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch him up on the bug people thing.
Yep.
And
Can
how-
the Cernith use Porte?
We don't have no clue.
We don't know.
We have no idea.
We don't
We haven't
know.
researched them enough yet.
Dad? Do we know?
Yeah, wait, Geralt, help!
Dad? Father?
He's not there. I mean, she's making a plan to talk to him the next day. I think we're going to be going into another episode or two of probably downtime as we kind of come through the winter and stuff like that. But as it was pointed out to me that we have made it through 40 minutes of winter. However, it's fairly late in the evening with like plenty of drunken revelry happening. That there's another knock on the door. As a message bearer arrives with a letter that is actually addressed to Honorina and Rosa.
And Rosa?
Oh, that's never good.
Is Rosa? I don't think we know yet about the fetal alcohol thing, so I think Rosa could be drinking if she wanted to. In
During this
Renaissance.
time period, it would be quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it's probably watered down more than most wine is. Like wine is always watered down, but I think like for pregnant women, it was.
So
like,
is
watered.
Rosa drunk or is she not?
She wouldn't be drinking that much. She already did not drink that much because she needs
She's
to
like,
watch people.
She's like, I'm in the morning sickness portion of my time. Don't need to be adding the wine in there.
Yep.
So Honorine would go I think Honorine's a little bit happy. Probably not snookered, but she's probably pretty happy, so she's probably gonna go find Rosa and be like, hey, got something.
We got something?
We, mademoiselle.
All right. Go ahead and read it.
So included within it, there's like there's a manuscript that's like enclosed within it, right? That Honorine quickly recognizes is like a play script, an opera script actually. There's musical notes and everything. It's unfinished, and the author that's credited for it is George Heinzel. And the note that is included is from the woman who was with Heinzel, escorting him when he was here in the city during the meeting. And the actual parchment itself is like spotted with tears. There are points where the ink is run. And she relates that Seeger has taken Heinzel's lands. Heinzel himself has been put to death and burned in the opera house that he constructed. She and his other few remaining loyal followers have set flight. But Heinzel lands are now occupied wholly by Eric's sector.
We thought he was going there next.
Yeah. So this opera that Heinzel wrote, do we kind of
It's
get a sense
unfinished.
of,
It was hmm.
of
So
what it was
first off,
about?
yeah. So Heinzel himself was obsessed with a specific opera called The Three Owls, in which three owls portended doom and led to like the sort of ultimate undoing of like the main character who witnesses three owls roosting at once. And it's from what Rosa and Henri had heard, Heinzel himself witnessed three owls sometime after the play had debuted, and it was like what led him to madness. It's very possible other things contributed. There was a whole huge war and whatnot, and he'd been an Iron Prince and had his own losses and stuff like that, but it was certainly what tipped the rock. And there's it is reading through it is dense enough that getting more meaning out of it is going to take some time. Does that make sense? Heinzel himself had moments where he was writing it where he was lucid, and had moments where he was writing it where he was not.
Okay.
Is Rosa like reading the opera right away?
She's reading the music of it, since that's what she reads she can read, at least sing relatively well.
Well, she reads too now, right?
Yes, she can now.
Go ahead
I
and give
think.
me an artist role mixed with her wits real quick.
So
Do I have?
is the council still at the bear house?
I'd imagine.
I mean, Len would be if Rosa still is. If we're all just kind of drinking and catching up, did
Yeah.
anybody?
I know
36.
party yet.
4 9s.
Yeah.
So what Rosa recognizes is that in every period in which he was not lucid, the music that he's writing, he is integrating other operas. Like specifically, she can almost see the opera character because she knows the operas that he's drawing on, and he's just recreating that music instead of his original creations, which are through the rest of it. Does that make sense? And in a strange way, the moment you isolate, oh, this is one of his, like, this is from blah, 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 then you can recognize that, like, when he was writing, he was taking on that persona. But then other times when he had a lucid period, the music is original.
Yeah. So she's then starts reading a song. If she realizes it's original, she puts it in one like group. Realizes it's from an opera, she puts it in another. And Honorine watches her really kind of focus in on this because to her it almost feels like it's important.
Honorine, if it seems important to, so Honorine is like starts to just sort of ignore the play part of it. But if it seems important enough to Rosa, Honorine will sit down with her and kind of go through it. But she's like, I have to write to Seeger.
One.
We need, yes.
Len,
yes, but at the
you
same
got
time we
cut off.
also need to somehow stop him. He was just a sick old man.
Did they actually share what was in the letter with everybody? I'm not trying to push. I just because
Well,
it's a pretty
so
traumatic thing.
Honorine,
Rosa just ends up kind of falling into the hole.
So Honorine's suggestion, if Rosa mentions it, or I guess just in general, is like, We'll tell everyone in the morning when they recover their sobriety. They should be able to celebrate for one night.
We all need one night without doom.
Well, somebody does anyway. And Honoring's just, there are tears like streaming down. Like, she's very upset. She's extremely upset at the letter.
I think
at this.
given the state of everyone, like that, like there's not really a role required to tell that, like, despite the decision that they want to kind of keep to themselves and let people celebrate, that they can see that both Henri and Rosa are visibly upset.
Well, I don't
So-
know that either of them go back to the party.
I was assuming this was like just outside of it. So they delivered it to the bear house. So
Yeah.
are they leaving from there, or are they?
Rosa's basically found a table down below when it's working. Like,
Yeah.
and
I don't know. I just assumed that they kind of took the letter and just like stepped aside.
yeah,
to go
step down,
read it.
like at least walk downstairs with it.
Yeah.
And like seeing this, she would kind of forget, like, oh, I should tell others about this.
So what I think probably happens is that Honorine and Rosa basically end up kind of stepping aside. And I suspect everyone else is like catching up and drinking and all that stuff. And then probably when someone's ready to go home, like probably when Len is ready to go home or something, and goes to collect Rosa, maybe finds some like that.
Yeah. Finds her working over it.
Unless somebody else is like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go talk to Honorine or Rosa or whatever. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, Rosa wouldn't be crying. She would have swallowed her tears, and it's just replaced this very quiet rage.
Len would probably be the first one to come down. He's not drinking a lot, and he's still doing a lot of turning into an owl and scouting around the city and around the edges, trying to keep an eye and make sure Posen's not trying to slip somebody in, or the bad Seeger isn't trying to stage around outside of Freeburg. So at some point he's just like, all right, everybody, I'm gonna go collect my bride to be. It's good to see you all. I'm sure we'll catch up again soon. And then wander down and find the Misery Twins.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you upset that somebody else has to get the Herald of Doom or what?
I mean, it's kind of my brand now. Get your own thing.
Get over it.
I believe I have been equitably distributing most of the doom. I give Len a little bit more. His share.
While they are gone, the shark does turn to Gav at one point. So, monsieur, you're engaged as well?
Duh. My bride to be is is the keeper of the Hall of Records. And he
Well,
sort of
congratulations
beams.
to you.
She taught me to read.
She taught you to read, so you decided to marry her?
He just sort of stops. She did not see, and he kind of like, he points to the mutilated hand. He points to, just his general size and not particular good looks. She did not see that.
No.
She saw me.
She sees the man you truly are, not the
man I have grown into.
She sees you. She does not see what
My
it
little
is.
mouse.
Wait, this is good. This is the woman that every man needs to find, and every woman needs to find her man, and so on and so on.
The last, gosh, I don't even know how long it's been in game. Since I met the council, my life has taken a drastic turn. I am going to be a father. I'm going to be a husband. And I can walk the streets and people do not walk to the other side.
But I ask you this in utter honesty, my friend. When you look in the mirror, are you happy with who you are?
I have never met my father, and I did not know my mother. But
These
I
are not-
think they would. I think they would both be proud of me.
But are you proud of yourself?
Da.
And that is what matters, my friend. That is what matters. Not whether the ignorant cross the street. Not not what the bourgeoisie would say about you. When you stand tall, when you look in that mirror, when you look at yourself, and you say, I am proud of who I am and I have no shame in what I have done.
He smiles like, I have always stood tall, Gerald, but I now feel as tall as I am.
There it is. When I left, you were still covered in your own shadows. I am happy for you.
It is good that you have returned, my friend.
Whatever it means to be seen, I bring war at my heels.
This is Eisen. All I have known is war. And
But
there are better things in Eisen than war. And I think we are here to show Eisen what those things are.
not just Eisen. No, it's just Eisen.
Da.
The world is changing, and we are at the center of the hurricane.
And we haven't even gotten to the weird stuff yet.
Our weird stuff beats my naked woman in the snows of Russia telling me to get off of her lawn. Then we have a lot of stories to share.
Oh, let me tell you of the Queen of the Sea.
And we'll fade there so everybody else can get into their stories.
End scene.
So I'm gonna cut you actually like as Runa is making her way out, like late in the night.
Sorry.
Like she's just kind of like heading out of the bear house, and I think Rosa and Honorine and Len are probably still inside with.
Quickly, just upstairs, Runa like is quickly checking Hans's bandages, and kind of just very quietly to him goes, I was considering using my coins to get you a breastplate, but you have one waiting for you.
I think he already has one, doesn't he?
That's what she just said.
No, I've not bought any. I've not bought any shadow armor breastplate yet. I think
So
I've
this
got
is-
everything but actually.
This is
Almost
her
everything
being like,
but.
hey, I could get you one of these, but you have one waiting. Before she leaves. Just like with a cheeky little grin.
Yeah, he responds with zero cheekiness. He's just like this very solemn nod.
Sorry.
It's fine.
As she's checking his wounds should be further recovered than they are.
Can I roll doctor? To see what the fuck is up with that? Or
Yeah.
I bought it to 4.
Nice.
I took off because I've been using it a lot. A lot more than I thought I would, to be fair. With wits?
You're using doctor for wounds more than you thought you would in Renaissance Germany?
Actually, she's been using both doctor and surgeon, but it's the same skill.
Right.
It's
I'm
just
just saying.
practice for Mondays, that's all.
It's roll with wits.
Yep.
Okay.
And because you have the specialization, you get a +5. So for analysis.
26.
So what she can tell is two things. Like when she kind of pulls the bandages away, they bled as if he'd like torn stitches and torn the wounds back open. Does that make sense? But when she get the bandages off and she like examines them, they have not been torn open, and they look like they should not be bleeding as much as they have been. His bandages should not have been bloody today unless he tore them open, and his wounds are not torn open, but the bandages are blooded. And for Hans, this has been normal every day.
Yeah.
You aren't healing as you should.
Is this not?
No, you
Just-
should only be bleeding like that if you tore stitches and you are fine.
Oh. I'm sorry, I would have told you
It's
if I mean, it was grievous wounds. I assumed this was the way things.
it's okay. I'm just concerned.
Can you both speak up a little bit? We're having
Oh,
sound
hang on,
issues.
I can adjust my gain a bit too. A tiny bit higher. There we go. That should probably do the trick.
It's okay. I'm just concerned.
Well, I mean, what? What is there to do about me not healing? It is.
I need to figure that out.
What do I do in the meantime? Rest. I mean,
Well, you should
this
be
is
getting rest.
This is what I've been
anyways.
doing already.
I know. But I'll try and figure this out.
There
Okay.
is discoloration around the wounds that is unusual.
There it
That
is.
like might have made Runa think poison at one point, but
Gangrene.
she's thoroughly
It's
cleaned
gangrene.
them. It's not gangrene because she knows what to look for with that, and there's a specific smell to it. This is something else, and she doesn't know what it is.
We don't need to do this tonight, but tomorrow would you join me to the Rosencross? Maybe being on Morte next week.
Yeah, if they can fix this. Yeah, yeah. Well, morning, afternoon, evening.
Morning, ideally.
Yeah.
Okay. That's concerning.
So are we okay with running just like a few minutes over? There's just one more like small scene that I want to do. It's like after Hans and Runa part, and Anna shows up very late in the night to like walk Hans home, and seems kind of pleased that he's had a few drinks and seems to have been enjoying himself. But as Runa is headed her own way back towards her place, she sees the Nibelungen like coming towards the bear house. You're muted.
Can't
if
hear
you're
you.
talking.
You're back so soon.
She says, I owed you a coin.
Forgot about that for a moment.
And she says it just seemed important to get it to you.
I appreciate
And she hands it over. There's kind of like a moment where it's up to Runa's imagination or not, as to like whether the touch of her hand as she's handing over the coin lingers or not.
that. I don't know. Perhaps it does. Are you good to get back on your own, or would you like me to walk with you?
She smiles and she says, I have made the trip 3 times already. I think I should be okay.
Get back safe.
Um, and she there's like just a really long hesitation, and then it's like, but if you'd like to walk me, you can.
I will. Just make sure you get back.
Um, she seems like somebody who has never figured out how to do small talk. Does that make sense? And
That very much makes sense.
um,
Same
as
queen.
she's walking, like there's plenty of like looking out over the water, crossing the bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like moments that she could pick something to say, like times would be right, and instead it seems like she's locked in her head trying to figure out the thing to say.
Do I read that?
It's up to you.
You know, you're not pressured to say anything, but you could say literally anything if you wanted.
I have asked the Nibelungen many times why I was chosen as a spokesperson when speaking to people has never been a strength of mine.
You have an air about you. That commands
I think
respect.
it's just that I'm very tall.
It could be that.
People presume majesty upon height.
Perhaps it could be that. You are very tall. She's tall enough that like Runa has to look up at her. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think she's tall enough that, like, because we've described Runa as relatively short for a Vestan, like her mom.
Yeah, she's the same height, if not like an inch taller than her mom, but her mom's like 5'5", I believe.
I think
Runa's like 5'4".
Ingvild specifically has the small advantage. So I think her mom is actually like 5 foot.
Ah.
So it's up to you if Runa's that height or not.
Runa's about 5'4".
Okay. Dad was a little taller, so gave her a few extra. So yeah, I think with the difference, like Runa just clears like the breast shelf. So
yes. But it's breastplate, so Runa just like.
She's not wearing them at the moment. She's cloth and everything because she's.
Well, now that you say that, I love it here. I think this needs to stop happening to Honorine.
Honorine isn't even courted by like men who are supposed to be courting her. So like, let alone women.
Excuse me, she has been courted by an Iron Prince.
Oh,
that is
one Iron Prince. Great, awesome, thanks.
One Iron Prince.
One Iron
One
Prince.
Iron. Actually, I can't say shit.
Of only like 5?
Yeah, no, you
Can't
can't.
say shit.
An Iron Prince, a hand, and also Anjay.
Don't
Can't be
talk
that.
about Honoring
You're not
that
that
way.
bad off. Okay. All right. How's the 22-year-old, the mature one here? Jesus.
She says,
You only appear.
Okay.
Back to the moment.
Wow.
Yes.
So she finally she says, so the stage that is in the bear house, that was your design?
Yes.
She says the Vidachi woman who is averse to shirts said that you made it. That you were also a smith.
Yeah. Just something to keep busy. And it happens to help out a lot at the bear house.
Do you have a shop somewhere in the city?
What do you call the blacksmith's place?
Forge.
Yeah. I have a forge, but not a shop per se.
She says, if you need a shop to practice at, she says, we have one that's been made available to us at the Frozen Cross Chapter House. And as I say it aloud, I realize I probably shouldn't offer their amenities to others, even as I am a guest there.
That is. I've learned a lot from the Rosencross. I was actually offered to be a part of the Rosencross. Unfortunately, I had to decline.
She says, so they might not be averse to you coming by their smithy.
I'd hope not.
Says, Dietrich Proust is a remarkable smith. She says, I've learned a lot by observing him. Our techniques are different. Would you like to come see my tools sometime?
Sure.
She kind of like,
And I feel like this is all
saying
going
it in acceptance.
all over Runa's head.
And she just sort of like seems to realize like the phrasing of what she said just like afterwards. And she kind of, at the end of a bridge, she's looking towards like the chapter house and then knows that Bruna's back like the other way because that was like the turn. She says, I think I can make it from here.
All right. Have a good night.
She says, you as well.
And Runa makes her way home.
That's
All right.
Before they go and they break up fully, Honoring is going to make sure that Gerard has a place in the city to stay properly. Like, we don't have to like play it out if nobody wants to, but like just FYI, he's got a spot to stay if he needs to.
Can I add in, Honorine knows that Jamais would be very mad if Honorine was aware that Gerard was in the city and didn't tell her and invite him
They're
to stay.
getting to it, okay? We're getting to it.
I was just reinforcing that, like, she knows Jamais thinks very highly of it.
You packed the session too full, okay? For me to get to that. Okay?
Very well. Go on. Go on.
No. We're done. That's it.
No, I
Thank
think you
you,
have to see
everyone,
this
for
wrong.
coming to watch Shadow of the
No.
Wachtturm.
Play out your scene, and I will close this out after.
No. I got
Lori
nothing.
unplugs the camera.
Just closes the Zoom call, deletes the
No, I
key,
just-
the whole thing.
Shuts down
We're done.
OBS and yeets it out the window.
Unplug your
we
computer.
We just repaired that screen.
It's true, we did. The cats ripped it.
Oh no.
I paid $60 for that screen.
I don't know how to transition from my heart is breaking and I'm devastated and I'm writing the most strongly worded letter that I can summon from the depths of my Montaigne soul to you can come stay at my place if you'd like. So I don't know how to transition.
Let me
that.
transition this a different way. Let's assume that like we're gonna cut to Gerard staying late enough to walk Honorine home because I think he still is viewing himself as a protector, and so it is like, appropriate for him to do so in his mind. He was last retained as a swordsman for her.
Do you have somewhere to stay?
I would assume that I would be staying at the general's barracks. But to be perfectly honest, I never verified I am in service to the general's army as a
Well,
fencing officer,
at
but
the
not officially.
well, at the very least, you'll have to come in and say hello to my aunt. She'll still be awake at this hour. I know she will. And Honorine's definitely like she was upset about the news that she got, but like has kind of just made it clear like we'll talk about it tomorrow. Gerard does have probably multiple like options, but Honorine is definitely like, yeah, you have to at least come by the house to say hello to my aunt.
I would be remiss if I did not, and she would have my head if I did not.
She would put it on a spike.
I don't think she would even honor me with a spike at this point.
Well, she's a polite sort.
Jimmy kind of from the doorway of the townhouse is like, and what disservice have you done to my family that I would put your head on a spike?
Hello, Aunt Shimei.
Jimmy is wearing a night robe, which is fairly scandalous to be like wearing it outside of a house. You know what I'm saying? But she doesn't really care at this point. She does have on some extremely fluffy slippers that she steps across the snow with.
She's Duchess in absentia, and she gives no fucks.
Well, that is the thing, my lady, is I have not done it this service simply because I have fulfilled my obligation of escorting your niece home and giving you my regards. Had I been amiss in such things, then you would have been truly in the right to want me down and desecrate my head upon whatever utensil you found handy.
She says, I would not place a spike through your head. She says, at most, you would get a tongue lashing for being so rude as to take on another commission before having completed my own. She says, and I understand the reasons for your doing so and the patriotism of it.
It was more than that, lady. When the letter came into my hands, I understood very clearly that if I remained in the vicinity of Honorine, I would have been putting her in much more mortal danger than I could have protected her from. I did what I did out of duty to my country, me. But
She
my honor,
managed to find a great deal of trouble on her own.
so I have heard.
She says, I will have one of the bedrooms prepared for you. You're staying with us.
I suppose that would decline, I'd be in even more trouble. So, to save us both that agreement, I accept.
I don't think
Oh,
it was a question.
I was not asking.
Right.
Kind of smiles and turns. She says, come inside. She says, before I freeze delicate parts off.
And I escort Honorine inside.
And we'll drop the curtain there. 2 RP nominations.
Luna.
I have 3. I have Gerard and then Honorine and Lem for yelling at each other.
That was really funny.
Bruno was gonna pipe in at some point and be like, I can take anyone out of this conversation.
Don't make me bear again. I'll take this whole floor out. Don't think I won't.
Again.
Bruna's secretly ready to see if her carpentry is standing up to the task.
Because I don't think she repaired the floor, but she would do it again.
I appreciate the nomination, and I definitely want the XP, but like also I would like to nominate Gerard for that intro was fantastic.
Definitely.
And then
Yep.
I don't remember what it was for Ruth. I remember there was the like that moment
Yeah.
was really
Yeah,
great.
that was a good one.
That
I
was
think that was a
hilarious.
standout
The
moment.
lipstick realization was what really sealed it for me.
That was really
Because Runa is not really discreet. Like if she's mad, you're gonna know about it.
Great to play
But-
poker with.
She was just like, huh? What do you mean?
And the best thing about it is she made all those faces and had that moment with lipstick all over her face that she didn't realize at the time.
That's probably part of
Just
what saved her.
Just fucking perfect. So
Yeah.
Anyway, those are my
Very good.
nominations.
Yeah.
Like
Gerard and Runa.
I appreciate
Definitely.
the
I'm
nomination
a
for
vote for
arguing
those
with
two.
my husband, but I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's just our natural
She
state.
does it for sport, I feel.
Anytime, game, not game, doesn't matter.
I frequently talk to Honoré on her way home from work, and when she gets home, I can usually hear her picking a fight with Kyle. When she walks
Minute
in.
I walk in the door.
So it is for
her
sport.
hello, honey, I'm home.
Hello,
What's
honey,
up,
I'm home and I
fucker?
like pineapple on pizza. What? And then, things just kind of go from there.
Okay, so we're definitely doing Gerard and Runa for bonus experience. We're doing 3 plus drama dice. Remember, you get a number of drama dice equal to your lowest stat at the start of the game. So it should work out to 5 and 6 for those who want the experience. Which I know you all know I'm just restating for Shadow since it's been gone for a while.
Appreciate it.
I am going to read us out.
Thank
And
you.
thank you guys for being
everyone.
patient and going late. So thank you for everyone watching us on YouTube or live on Twitch. Audience participation always means the world to us. And if you're on YouTube, smash the like, hit the subscribe, and make a comment in the down below. Here at Dirty 20, we always sign out with the same call to action. Be nice, be kind when you have the spoons, but even when you're not, be nice. Be nice to strangers, be nice to family, be nice to your loved ones, and be nice to yourself. Thank you all for coming on this journey with us, and we'll see you next week. I also want to say we've got a couple people in our community who are dealing with the seasonal 6 right now, so a few of our shows are going to be delayed. Please be patient with us as a channel as a whole, and we'll get back to it when we get back to it. So, thank you.
Night, y'all.
Bye.
Good night.
Be well, be safe.